Teaching reading at the secondary level is different from teaching reading to the elementary students in many different ways. When you work with students perhaps doing fluency probes, this is an area I've been working on quite a bit recently, and I find that students often at the secondary level do very well on the fluency probe, and their words per minute increases dramatically. But then if you follow that up with a maze probe, you find out that while in fluency they might be at low risk, when they do a maze they're at high risk. And the difference between that is the comprehension piece. That students, by the time they get to secondary school, tend to be pretty good word callers. They can sound out words. Now, there are those who can't, and they need to be addressed individually. But the majority of the students can word call. They can use their phonemic awareness and their phonics, and even their fluency to a certain degree, although they may still need help with chunking, with punctuation, and especially with the prosody piece. So when you're thinking about a reading class or a reading reinforcement for your secondary students, you really want to focus in on those comprehension and those vocabulary development skills, helping them be able to decode text in a more complex manner. I get especially concerned with the idea that we need to quit teaching reading at the middle school, because our students are exposed more and more to complex text as they move throughout the grade levels. And they constantly need to be reinforced, having their background knowledge activated so that they can interpret and think about this more complex text, where word calling isn't nearly as effective as slowing down, really reading the text, looking for visual, contextual clues in order to comprehend the text, and then talk about the text. So the reading process isn't just going to include reading aloud and fluency checks. It's going to be including discussion. Can the child sit and have a conversation with you when they're done reading in order to determine whether or not he really understood that information? Can the child write about what he's read? All of those things need to be taking place in the reading classroom in addition to the fluency, the phonemic and awareness and phonics. And that is the big difference. The other piece that's very important is recognizing that secondary students bring with them a lot of baggage. They've got years and years and years of people telling them that they're unsuccessful. So the good reading teacher is the one that recognizes that these kids are damaged by the time they get to us, not because they're stupid, not because they're incapable of learning to read, but because they've been unsuccessful. So one of the things a reading teacher has to focus on at the secondary level isn't just how do I learn to read, but how do I become comfortable and confident that I can learn to read? And that happens when you engage students in reading texts they want to read, when you provide opportunities for them to be successful, and when you validate who they are as a learner, instead of constantly reminding them that they can't read.